After the ceasefire announcement, Hamas organized a celebration in Gaza City. Women threw candy, men waved flags, and Hamas spokesman declared victory.
We are here today after achieving an agreement between the two sides to announce the victory of resistance. We are here today to announce the victory of Gaza.
In Israel, experts said Hamas had sustained its worst blow ever and would brag no matter what. Many Israelis sounded relieved but leery.
I'm very, very happy that it happens, but I'm very doubtful about the effectiveness of this ceasefire, because it could be that this is the 14th ceasefire that we are getting in.
The Egyptian brokered agreement stipulates no more rocket fire from Gaza, the opening of the Rafah crossing with Egypt, and expanding fishing rights off the Gaza coast. In approximately 1 month, negotiations will begin on building a seaport and airport in Gaza and the release of Hamas prisoners.
This time, we hope the ceasefire will stick, and I think now that the dust will be clearing, many people will be asking, why is it that Hamas has today accepted the very same framework that they rejected a month ago? So much bloodshed could have been avoided.
Despite the loss of so much life, Hamas sounded defiant and ready for the next round of fighting. A Hamas spokesman said, "The value of this campaign is not in the opening of this crossing or that crossing, but in paving the way for the next phase of liberating Jerusalem and the land of Palestine. Today, we are closer to Jerusalem."
Well, Chris Mitchell is with us now from Jerusalem. Chris, how can Hamas claim victory after suffering such losses?
Well, Pat, they're driven by ideology, not necessarily by reality. More than 2,200 Palestinians have died. Their rocket inventory went from an estimated 10,000 down to 2,000. 5,000 buildings have been destroyed. Much of their leadership has been destroyed. I think about 1,000 of their fighters have been killed. But what they can say is they can live to fight another day. And destroying the Jewish state, killing Jews, is all part of their charter. And as a former Israeli ambassador told me today, they're not looking for a Palestinian state beside Israel. They're looking for an Islamist state, just like ISIS is.
Chris, Netanyahu said he wasn't going to stop until they sort of took away the threat of Hamas. Are they coming up short, or have they accomplished certain goals?
Well, they did accomplish certain goals. They really have devastated Hamas in many ways, but I think you could sum up the reaction of not only some of the ministers in the government, but also the Israeli public. There's a headline in one of Israel's major newspapers that says, "Southern communities are outraged. We cave to a terror organization." So I think there's a mixed reaction. Israelis, they are relieved that the war is over, but I think many feel like they missed an opportunity. Uzi Landau, one of the ministers in the government, he's the minister of tourism, said the government, he criticized them for wanting peace at any price. And it really has hurt Netanyahu in the polls. When the ground incursion went in more than a month ago, his popularity was over 80%. Now it's less than 40%. So he's dropped 40% in the polls. And I think other was telling that this ceasefire was not even brought up for a vote in the Security Cabinet.
Well, Hamas is saying on to Jerusalem. This is only an interim agreement. We're going to Jerusalem. I mean, what's Israel going to do?
Well, that's one of the things, one of the goals, not only of Hamas, but all the Islamist groups in the region, including ISIS. That's their goal, is to come here to Jerusalem and defeat what they call the little Satan, Israel. But just one stepping stone on the way to the big Satan, the great Satan, which is the United States and the West. Pat, there is some news just today that Nusra, which is one of these Islamic groups, has taken over Quneitra on the Golan Heights. And I think this is a very, very serious development, because what one IDF officer has said is ISIS is actually getting closer and closer to the Israeli border on the Golan. And he said there's 50 shades of black on the other side of the border. And we just got off the phone just a few minutes ago with one of Israel's former national security advisors. And he said that Israel is on the front lines of all these Islamic movements, and it might be they'll be the front lines. The West is next, and he says it's really the Jews that often are the first target, and then comes the rest of the world.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate your coverage. Stay with it, my friend. God bless you.